Let me ask you, Michael. You endured, and I do mean endured, 16 years in federal prison. How did you not break up mentally? How did you stay strong all that
Well,
time?
you know, all praises definitely due to Allah, man, for keeping me strong and having a good, strong support system because, you know, a lot of people go to prison for 2 or 3 years and they come out in their Looney Tunes. And people tell me all the time, Mike, they're like, well, we never know you went to jail if we didn't know your story. Because when I hit the ground with both feet, you know, with the same mindset of a champion, having the right attitude, doing the right things, and just trying to prosper and elevate myself to the highest level in whatever I do. So that's something of the past. There's nothing I think about. I just thank God for giving me the constitution to remain focused and strong and, you know, having a good support team to ride and, you know, be in my corner because when you go to jail, you know, you're in jail by yourself and, you know, you got to either, you know, stand 10 toes down or bend over. So, you know, I chose stand 10 toes down like the man I am and do my time like a man and come home like a man. And we're going to keep it moving.
You know, one question I had, I remember interviewing Ron Lyle, and, you know, he had also served time in prison. And one of the things he told me was that, you know, some people go to college. He said that for him, jail was like college. That's where he got an education.
Well, jail is like college, and it's like this here. Either you get worse or you get better. I mean, it's your choice because when you do the time, don't nobody do it for you. When you with the clique or whoever, you're out in the streets doing whatever you're doing. You know, you got 30, 40 guys, 50 guys, everybody hee-hawing and this and that. When you got to go do that time, when you do the count, you got to do the count by yourself. Those guys are out in the world doing whatever they're doing while you're in time, you know, while you're in jail doing your time. But one thing about it, I just thank God for giving me a strong constitution and being able to stay focused to keep my mind on what it needed to be on is getting through my 24-year sentence and through the grace of God and Mr. Obama, you know, signing the 2-point reduction to allow me to come home 57 months before my time because I'm supposed to be in prison until December 19th, 2024. And I came home 2 years ago today. So it's a blessing, Mike, for us to be doing this interview because this is my second year of being home. And it's honorary to be here talking to you. And, you know, I supposed to still be in jail if it wasn't for the 2-point reduction. And, you know, I thank, you know, God for putting it on Obama's administration and the people that helped, you know, make this possible for me to be home. And I'm gonna stay home because I'm home now. And who wants to go back to jail? There's nothing in jail. You know, you don't wish nobody for jail because when you go to jail, man, hey, jail is hell. And, you know, I'm trying to stay out of hell. So, you know, I'm doing everything in my power to do the right thing, to elevate myself and educate myself to know not to go back to jail because I was there for 16 years and 6 months. That's 198 months straight. I didn't have no timeouts on the weekends. I done it straight. So that's the last place I want to be is in hell. I don't call it jail. I call it hell, Hell, because that's exactly what it is.
Now, can we just? I wanted to ask you about your case. You know, because you know, have you ever seen? Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, it ain't so much that I want to talk about my case, but we can just, you know, go briefly on it. You know, it's just a bad situation to where I think they gave me too much time, but you got to understand, you know, you're dealing with the elements of the government and they have an opportunity to do what they want to do when they want to do it, when they put you in those type of predicaments. So I fought myself for putting myself in that predicament. And to do smarter things in the future, I stay away from things that can send me back to jail.
Because I mean, like here's sort of the question I'm asking. Like, have you ever seen the Shawshank Redemption? You know, it's a famous movie. I've never had a chance to see it, but there's always that classic line about how everyone is innocent. You know, like that's the joke. You know, like that's what the guy said. But at the same time, there are people that are innocent, like innocent. And then there's people that is like it's in between. There's like a truth that's in between like being innocent. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to ask you about that. Like, what is your take?
Well, you got to understand the system could never be fair. I mean, you know, hey, they put me in jail, gave me 24 years for saying I'm a kingpin or something like that. It's amazing how these people can orchestrate and create things and don't have to be no necessary truth to it because for whatever reason, maybe they didn't like me or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But maybe they thought I was doing too much or whatever, you know. But, you know, you just got to understand, you got to stay out of the way of law enforcement and you don't have to worry about it if you're not involved in it because when you fight and they fight, they change the rules as they go. So my advice to anybody that's been a criminal to wisen up and find something better to do because once they put you in their grips, they do what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, listen. You know, my history is my history. You know, growing up in New York, I as a teen, I had my own issues with, you know, with selling drugs or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Thankfully,
Well, I think it's something we all go through as a youngster growing up. You know, it may be cool to you, but when they start giving you time and you got to start doing the time, I'm not talking about when you get caught, you tell on people and you inform and you do things of that nature. It's when you got to sit in jail for decades at a time, you have a different mindset. You know, it changes your whole perspective about how to do things. And if you can do the right thing, because one thing about it, when they got you where they got you, they're gonna do what they want to do when they want to do it, and they let you out when they want to let you out. So I just been fortunate, man, and I just want to take golden opportunity of the talent I got to be able to maximize it the best way I know how to, and not do it behind the walls of a federal confinement of any prison. You know, I want to be locked up. I want to be locked up in my house. So when I want to leave, I leave when I want to leave, because when you're in prison, you can't leave. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when it's Friday night, you want to go hang out with the girls or the guys or whoever and do what you do on party night, but you can't do it. You got to be stuck up there in that jail cell, and you got a whole lot of time to think when you're there. So, you know, I tell guys all the time, when you're thinking about going to jail, that's all you got to do. Go sit down in your bathroom for about 30 minutes and turn the lights off, and just that's going to resemble a jail cell. So whatever you're doing, you'll change your mindset, man.
All right. I don't know. Like I said, I sort of wanted to ask this question, but then I've been going back and forth. You know, Mike and I were discussing the presidential race, and and believe me, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I didn't vote for him. The reason I couldn't bring myself to vote for Joe Biden was because I feel like his running mate, Kamala Harris, made a career as a prosecutor on doing that exact thing by putting people in jail for, drug offenses. And that's sort of, I was sort of on the fence about asking you about this question because, to my mind.
Well, I'm a firm believer now, I mean, I'm not really no political guy, but, one thing about me, I'm gonna respect whoever our president be, because that's the only thing to do is to honor that, because we already know politicians, they do a lot of underlining things as well. So, I try to keep my feelings to myself, but it's good to see that we got a black lady that's the vice president. We had a black president, and now we got a vice president. So I mean, it's great for our culture and our race and everything. But I'm not really no political figure. I don't go pointing fingers at no one.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason I sort of wanted to ask, and we don't have to touch upon that, is I feel like there's always people like in your case where, let's say, a prosecutor might want to make a career on putting, making somebody a bigger villain.
But there's no doubt about it. I mean, the prosecutor that prosecuted me, he was a racist jerk, and I'm telling you that, and I tell him that, and I think he was definitely trying to make a career. He know I was bigger than him. I'm bigger than him still today. After being in prison for 16 years and 6 months, I'm still bigger than the chump. So, I mean, you can't do nothing to deviate or to stop me. You trying to get brownie points for orchestrating me as being a drug kingpin with no facts, with no nothing. But it just goes to show when you got a crooked system that they can do what they want to do.